I won the first fight, but in the second one, the semi-final, I start to feel cramps on my foot. When I talk with referee about that, he disqualified me.
If you knew about these tips when you were an athlete, do you think you would have won that competition?
Oh yeah, because it's simple to fix it.
If you've ever struggled with cramping on the mats, this is for you. We're going to go over the 3 most common reasons why you might be experiencing cramps and give you some exact and easy things you can do to fix that so that you don't have any problem with your cramps on the mats.
I am Daniel. I am a nutritionist and black belt with over 50 titles.
And I'm Vanessa, and together with Danielle, we run Nutrion, where we help BJJ athletes get to their best performance. So with that being said, let's jump right in. When you were earlier in your career, did you ever experience cramps?
When I was an athlete, I went to compete in another state in Brazil, and it is 4 hours by car, and this tournament is the biggest one from there. It's huge and have a great prize, and everyone wanted to win this tournament. We went to this tournament, and I remember the night before I was with 1 kilo over the right weight, and I can't eat anything in the dinner. I just eat a piece of fruit for the breakfast.
And by the way, if you're looking to learn about what a good weight cut should look like, we have videos up about that. So
Yeah.
check that out. Don't do what Daniel is talking about. But
Yeah.
so this was before you studied nutrition, right?
Yeah,
Before
yeah.
you became a full dietitian in Brazil. So you probably didn't have the knowledge that you have today.
Yeah.
So you did a terrible weight cut, and what happened then?
Yeah, I was so young, so just a stupid thing to do. I was a really good blue belt, so I won my division. But when I went to compete in the absolute, in the open division, I won the first fight, but in the second one, the semi-final, I start to feel cramps on my foot. When I talk with referee about that, he disqualified me, and I didn't understand
Wow.
what happened because I didn't know this rule, but I checked after the tournament. I checked it is real. If you have cramps in the middle of the fight, the referee will stop and disqualify you.
Wow. So this was an IBJJF tournament.
Yeah.
And you were disqualified in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And you probably had a really good chance to win, right?
Yeah.
So that must have been how was that for you?
No, I felt so upset and so sad about everything, and I was winning the fight, and this happened in the last 2 minutes, I think. So yeah, for this reason I was so upset about it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So let's make sure that no one else suffers a disqualification because of a cramp. And I think it's especially relevant for everyone who's maybe going to Euros. That's coming up soon. That's IBJJF. So that's definitely under those rules. So you really, really do not want to be cramping up.
And if you had cramps, don't let the referee know.
Maybe if you follow the tips that we have for you today,
Yeah.
you won't have to pretend that you're not feeling any cramps.
Yeah.
So I know we mentioned there's 3 sort of key reasons, right? The most common reasons that can cause cramps. Can you tell us about those?
So the first cause for cramps is dehydration. It's a common mistake between athletes. Just drink water around the train. Of course, drink water before and after training is important, but the most important thing is drink water throughout of the day. When you woke up, your body is dehydrated, so it's important to recover these water stocks. So the first thing to do after wake up is recover the water stocks. Think of 500 ml. You help you with that, and then see how many trains have you been training, and planning your water intake around that.
Right. And we have a really helpful formula when we do the diet analyses, right?
Yeah.
We have a really helpful formula. So I'll put the details on the screen, but basically the lowest amount that would be like enough for you would be 35 milliliters per kilogram of your body weight. Basically, with this formula, you'll get sort of the lower end of what's probably enough for you. If you're super active, right, that can go up a lot higher. So I'll try to show that here on the screen somewhere. If you're on the podcast, I'll put it in the show notes. And what we do see when we're talking to folks in diet analysis, right, is that some people, they're training quite actively, but they're only having maybe like a liter and a half throughout the day.
Yeah.
Unless they are like a child size, basically, that's not enough, right? For no adult active person, is that going to be enough water? So they are going to have some effects of dehydration.
Yeah, especially in jiu-jitsu, and especially if you train with ki, you lose a lot of water.
Right.
The important thing is know your weight before training and after to see how much water you lost during the activity, and then replace it.
Yeah, and then most gyms should have a scale, right, for that purpose.
Yeah.
All right, but only drinking tons of water if you're struggling with cramps.
Yeah.
That's actually not going to just fix it, right?
Right, exactly. And this is bring us for the next point. Is electrolytes. Especially, of course, electrolytes. When you're talking about electrolytes, you can say sodium, potassium, magnesium. But the main electrolytes will be sodium, and your sodium stocks will be important to contract and relax your muscles properly. This is connected with another point about water, because if you drink a lot of water, you will dilute the sodium quantity into your body, so you feel cramps also.
So you'll actually make it worse.
Yeah.
If you're cramping and you say, okay, I will try to fix it by drinking a lot of water, but I'm going to neglect electrolytes, you're actually going to make it worse, is what you're saying, right?
Of course. And of course, sometimes many athletes need to do the strategy to drink a lot of water when you lose weight. So if you do that, you need to increase your quantities of sodium also. You lose a lot of sodium quantities when you sweat. So for this reason, you need to replace this constantly, especially if you train more than 1 hour. The strategy to fix it is before training, water with a pinch of salt, and if you train more than 1 hour, drink electrolytes during the train.
So we have 2 videos about fight day. So I'm going to try to link to those here on the screen somewhere. But there we also talk about drinking electrolytes throughout the day, right? And that's going to help you if you're struggling with cramps during competitions. That's an especially important point.
Yeah, because in the fight day, the athlete have been drinking a lot of water, so the quantity of water you dilute the quantity of sodium. So for this reason, the athlete need to replace during the train. So so before train, during the train, and after train, you need to eat something salty. So it's not too much, but pretty quantities of salt in your rice, potatoes, pasta, and everything that you eat after training. So just to replace this sodium stock. And the third cause is low quantities of glycogen. We talked about that before in another podcast. So,
it's all connected, right?
Yeah,
it's also connected.
So when the glycogen stocks runs empty, you don't have energy to pull and push and for the muscle contraction properly. You need to recover these quantities of glycogen to recover the function of your muscles.
Right. And glycogen, that's in carbs, right? Or that comes, you get that through your carbs.
Exactly. Eat 3 hours before training, and if you have a hard session, more than 1 hour, use some carbs during the training. Could be a carb gel or gum bears.
So if you're doing like a really long, strenuous activity, you need that constant glycogen support.
And everything together, you help the athlete in the muscle contraction and increase the energy stocks at the same time.
So if you knew about these tips when you were an athlete, do you think you would have won that competition?
Oh yeah, no. It is interesting because it's simple to fix it. I just needed to drink some water with salt before the open division and some electrolytes between fights. This would have fixed my problem. So but this is life, yes. It's living and learning.
Right. So if it's happened to you before, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But now you know how to have it not happen to you again.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe let me just quickly recap what we learned today. So there's 3 main reasons for cramps, right? You have the water, the electrolytes, and the glycogen. So make sure you have enough of all 3 of them. Make sure that you're constantly restocking, so there's enough of that in your system so you cannot cramp and you cannot get disqualified. Did you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, just a quick reminder. If you haven't been drinking a lot of water and don't know the reasons why you have cramps, probably it's because your quantities of sodium is diluted, and you need to use more sodium before your training. So yeah, fix it and you probably feel great.
So, and if you try that out, if you've been cramping before and you try this trick and it works for you, leave us a comment. We love to hear from you. Yeah, I think that's everything we had for today. So if you want to learn about the weight cutting, about the carb timing, about all the other topics that we touched on today, we have a ton of different episodes out about those. So check that out, and we hope to see you in the next episode.